Hello racing fans, welcome to our Gallop TV preview show. It's for Wednesday the 10th of December. We race on the summer course, Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. What's on the go? Trust that you, the valued racing fan, as well. Race number 1, 12:40, and we should close things off at 17:20. 9 races on the bounce, and Mr. Bailey, Brandon, his first name is on the line. Had a nice long chat with him. On the mend, but still under the weather. Not looking too good, but things are getting better with the illness.
Hey, Paya, it's been a long struggle the last few days. Voice is a bit croaky, but body's feeling good, Dees. I'm not sure what's going around. I think it's something that we possibly picked up through the airport somewhere, but body's feeling good. We just need to get that voice back to where it needs to be. We tried to scream home a few winners on Saturday, which didn't go according to plan. Of course, anchoring ahead of the facts, got beaten in a driving finish. I thought it was a very good ride from Chad Little on Holding Thumbs. And thereafter, of course, some disappointing efforts from some of the bigger horses on Saturday afternoon. But these, that's racing. As you always remind me, we're soldiers. We keep firing, we keep boxing. And I have no doubt leading up into the Guineas on Saturday afternoon, we can try and find a few winners and get that wallet full again. Okay,
big meeting on Saturday. It is Hollywoodbets Guineas Day and a sweetener to the pool of 500,000 Rand to the pick 6. But more about that over this weekend. Let's get straight into it. Brandon, race number 1. I mentioned 9 races, so no exotics here in the first race. 12:40, maiden plate fillies and mares, 1,200 meters. Bring up the field, have a look at some betting at the time of recording. Number 1, Silver Salute, 4-1. Number 4, Miss Attitude at 5-1. And then could we begin the day with an odds-on shot to kick things off? Number 7, Vroom Vroom, Justin Snate, Richard Fourie. 5-10 is the price, Brandon. And I just feel that, you know, when it comes to the fixed odds market and how they price up, they had little choice with this filly pricing up in the red.
Absolutely, Dees. I think she'll take a power beating. And not because of her price, but if you go back and watch her replay on the 8th of November, she's a lovely looking individual, of course, very well bred. Give me the green light out of the Jetmaster mare, Come Fly With Me. She certainly caught the eye on debut. I'm not sure about the form lines. Of course, was beaten by Gimme Another Viking, who came from a mile back, and there's nothing that's jumped off the page immediately that suggests that that form line's going to be strong. But sometimes we just need to look at the individual. We need to watch the replay. Justin Snaith did say first time out that she's nowhere near ready to peak at her first start. So the fact that she came out and ran such a forward race, I think they were pleased with that, knowing that there's a lot more left on the bone and meat to work with. So 7 Vroom Vroom for me. These, if she brings that first performance to the course and she's improved back at home, which I have no doubt she has, I think she'll take a power of beating. So 5-10 to get favourite backers off to a good start. If you're looking for some exactors, I thought the exactor horse could be number 1, Silver Salute. Craig Zaki, Dean Canham, a fair run first time out, of course beaten 5.5 lengths by that smart filly trained by Lucinda Woodruff, Call Me Secret. Now if you go back to that form line on the 2nd of November, of course Call Me Secret came out to win a game, and she ran a lovely race in the Fillies Guineas, I thought, over the weekend. Second was Blue Lagoon, who came out to place in her next start. Iona Castle's placed in her next start. And even further down the page, you had a horse like 7 No Trump, who went on to run second in her next start. So watch this individual. There'll be any amount of improvement from number 1, Silver Salute. And I think she'll be chasing Vroom Vroom hard.
Okay, we turn on the ignition, start up the engine, and it's a Vroom Vroom. Race number 1 to get up to a flyer there. Let's start the day off with an odds-on shot on a favorable note at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on this Wednesday. Barpot begins in race number 2, 13:15, 1,200 meters, maiden plate, fillies and mares. This is how it looks, Brandon. Number 1, Swift Serenity, 5-1. Then we got number 2, Black Erica at 2-1. 33-10, number 3, Winter Auckland. And 28-10, number 5, Fantain. Then we got number 7, Bluffton at 7-1, and it's double figures the balance. It looks tricky, the start of the bipod, 2-1, 33-10, 28-10. It's tight on the top of betting boards.
If you go back to the last run, of course, Black Erica's last run, Adam Marcus, JP Van der Merwe, I think you quoted 2-1 the price.
Yes.
This was ran third, beaten a length and a bit by Inner Blue, made tremendous improvement from her first start into her second start. Now, in that run, she had Fantine just behind her and Winter in Auckland just behind her. And I'm backing to see reason why they're able to turn that form around with number 2, Black Erica. She actually cruised up to them, Dees. Go back and watch the replay. You can be the judge on that occasion. She was just in behind the leaders. And when JP gave her a little bit more rein, she made up a good amount of ground. And she went past Fantine, I thought, with a bit of ease. She's going to improve. I see they've already punched in the weight. She's at 465 already on the scale. So she's tightened up back at home. And if she's made another step forwards, how can they beat her, Dees? There's no reason to think that Fantine and Winter in Auckland can turn that form around. So I'm quite upbeat that she'll take a lot of beating, number 2, Black Erica. The dangers obviously being the old sparring partners, as I like to say, being Winter in Auckland and number 5, Fantine. Dees, I just want to go back to that form line on the 8th of November where she ran third to Inner Bloom. Again, it's not a strong form line, but when you look at this race, it doesn't look to be an overly strong race either. Second in that race was a horse called Talea. Talea, is that how we say it? She was backed into a short pass favourite in her last run where she was well beaten, nearly 10 lengths by one dance. So I'm not sure about the form lines, but it's not a strong maiden plate, and I say that with all the respect in the world to the owners and the trainers that have got horses running here in race number 2. I'm going with number 2, Black Erica. If she's made a step forward, she'll be very hard to beat.
Okay, 5 of the 4 runners are represented by the form line behind Inner Bloom, and Bandon sticking with that form line with the horse that was best behind Inner Bloom, and that's number 2, Black Erica. And hopefully he's on the mark, that there's no form reversal coming through from that form line. But that's race number 2, start of the bipod. The PA begins at 13:45. It's a maiden plate for fillies and mares. The distance is 1,600 meters. Number 2, Beautiful One, 4-1. Number 3 is Kisses at 5-1. We then got number 5, Louis Star at 6-1. 6, Cassandra, who was a disappointment last time out, because I remember clearly Craig Zaki liking the horse in an interview prior to that, but Brandon Bailey did tip the winner that day, World First. That's trading at 2-1. 7th, Ain't Misbehaving at 8-1. 8, Pacific Waters at 3-1, and it's double figures, the balance. I don't know what happened last time out with this filly. She was receiving a sex allowance, etc., etc., but you did tip World First. Can we forgive her for that run, Cassandra? And she's now back against her own sex?
Geez, I couldn't believe the price you quoted. Way too short for my liking. I think it's only because of the Richard Ferree factor, and that's why the bookmakers have opted to go and price her up as short as she is. I mean, I've been back, I've watched the replay. Craig gave her every chance. She was beaten going up and down in one spot. She was beaten just under 5 lengths by World First on that occasion. And dare I say again, Dees, that wasn't an overly strong race, and that's why we liked World First in quite a big way. Look, Glenn Cotton's flying. No doubt that the yard's really doing well at the moment. Long may it continue for him and his team at Woodgill Racing. But Dees, I like number 5, Louis Star. I couldn't believe the price that you gave about number 5, Louis Star. Muzi Yeni gets the ride for Greg Enion. Go back and watch her replay behind Rosewood, where she was beaten 2 lengths. Things didn't go according to plan early. She was caught wide. Eventually, she slotted in. She got into a rhythm. And I like the way she finished her race off over 1,600 meters last time out. Blinkers stay on. I have no doubt Muzi Yeni would have learnt a lot about this filly last time out. So I think a great price. Tremendous value. I'm going with number 5, Louis Star, as the winner.
Okay, that is it. Brandon has given you a 6-1 shot at the time of recording. And let's add to the fact that she was quite fancied last time out, from 20-1 into 6-1. And you heard it from Brandon. It was a good run behind Andre Nell's runner, Rosewood. So that's going to be the roving banker, if you're not convinced, for the win. And I like the confidence coming through from Brandon. Yes, she's had many chances, but she may have bumped the right field on Wednesday. On to the big one, the Pick 6, race number 4, 14-20, 1,600 meters, maiden plate, fillies and mares. What's happening here? Well, number 1, Her World, Ricky Maingard's runner is at 4-1. I must agree with Brandon's comments about the stable of Glenn Cotson flying at the moment. Number 2, Little Ting Song at 4-1. 6 is Homing Pigeon at 28-10. And 8, Peaches and Cream at 22-10. There is a 7-1 shot here in number 9, Rare Earth. And I see that Rare Earth will be having, that's her first run for a new stable. Used to be with the James Crawford yard. What do you make of leg 1 of the pick 6, Brandon?
So these is quite trappy. Initially, when I had a look at it, there's a few horses that you could make a case for. And the more I watched the replays and the more I dived into some form, I keep falling onto Peaches and Cream. Seanville, Candace Bass, we know that she's very well related, this individual. Of course, they give me the green light out of the Captain Alnay Princess Peach. She was always dying for a step-upping trip. Now, if you go back and watch her replay over 1,400 meters on the 10th of November, she was a mile back, Dees. There was almost 2 separate races happening. She found herself at the back of the field, I would say close to 14 lengths off them. She swung for home, and she just had way too much ground to make up, but I really like the way she hit the line on that occasion. She steps up even further in trip now, which I think she's going to absolutely thrive in. And Seanville, well, he gets a good tune out of some of these Candace Bass fillies. I have no doubt that he would have learned a lot. He'll have a game plan going into Wednesday afternoon. The field not as big, so she won't be too far off them. And if she's in touching distance, Dees, I think that turn of foot is going to help her in a big way. So I like number 8, Peaches and Cream. I think she'll take a bit of beating. You have to respect number 6, Homing Pigeon. She's in good form at the moment. She's run 2 very good races in succession. They were both over 1,800 meters. I'm not too worried about the drop-in trip to 1,600. I actually think it'll help her. So those are the 2 horses that I think will fight it out. And then your trifecta quartet horses will be number 1, Her World, and number 2, Lilting Song. But if I'm coming into this race, Dees, and I'm looking to strike something on the nose, I'm going with number 8, Peaches and Cream.
I'd just like to add to your comments, because when I chatted to Serena Moodley when he partnered her at a second start over a sprint up, he said she's looking for 1,600 meters and maybe even further. So Brandon could be on the button here. The way she's been finishing off over shorter, this is the distance she's looking for, and he likes number 8, Peaches and Cream, but not to leave out number 6, Homing Pigeon, in leg 1 of that pick 6. Race number 5, an open maiden, 2,000 meters we go here, and we begin in the betting with number 5, Eric Liddell, 2-1. Then number 6, Fast and Free at 7-2, and we got 33-10, number 10, Phantom Man, and Seafarer, number 11 at 5-1. Yeah, this race, we need your help here, because, whilst some horses seem to be improving with each run, I think there could be something that's bubbling under the radar that, could be coming up at a big price. That wouldn't surprise me.
If I came to this race, and you don't want to be overly confident about an open maiden, especially in Cape Town, we know that there's so many factors that go into it. The wind is one of those big factors, which we'll have to wait and see what it's doing on the day. But I really, really like number 5, Eric Liddell. JP van der Merwe, Justin Snaith, go back on his last 2 runs. Of course, he's shown the improvement. 25th of October, he ran 4th, beaten just over 3 lengths by Joshua. Short head behind him was this horse, Fast and Free, which they meet again. And then his last run, his great run. That was a tremendous run when he ran 3rd to We Have a Situation on the 19th of November. He was doing his best work late. He was absolutely taking off very late in the day on that occasion. The step-up in trip to 2,000 meters, that's going to be the key with number 5, Eric Liddell. The further they go, the better he'll be. JP van der Merwe from a neat draw, he won't be too far off them. He's got that big unwinding action, and I think he'll take a power of beating. 6, Fast and Free, you can make a case for. Of course, he ran a good race last time out, but there's not much in it in terms of form. If you go to that Joshua run, of course, when they met, what date was that, Dees? That was back on the 25th of October. Like I said, there was just a short head in it between Fast and Free and Eric Liddell. But I'm of the opinion that Eric Liddell will make more improvement now that he steps up to 10 furlongs, and I'm very confident that he'll get the job done. If he can't win here, Dees, they're in serious trouble.
Okay, lots of confidence coming through from Brandon. Love it. Number 5, Eric Liddell, going to be the play there in race number 5, and we're hoping that arrives. Race 6 is a D stakes over 1,000 meters. Number 1, Country Time, is at 7-2. Then we got horse number 4, which is Morphelia at 5-2. 6, Easy Money at 5-1. And 7, Pushing Limits, is at 5-2. So we got 9 runners that go to post here, and when I had a look at it, I was leaning towards, Paul Reeves' runner with Bevan Plyke's up. The confidence is high with this 6-year-old. The fact that she's won, twice this season from 3 starts. But when you go to that penultimate start, she looks held by Pushing Limits, doesn't she?
She does these, and I think Andrew Fortune would have done his homework, no doubt. I know that he's been trying to pop in every now and again at Andre Nell's private facilities, training farm, and I wonder if he's been able to work this horse Pushing Limits, because she needs a particular ride. She wants to be held up just in behind the leaders, and she wants to be sat on for as long as possible. And when you put her into daylight, she can turn it on in 3 strides. In fact, her last run on the 29th of October, I thought it was a tremendous run. They were spread all over the track. When I looked at her initially, I said, she's going to battle to run a place. But within a few jumps, she had almost hit the front D's. She can turn it on very quickly, Pushing Limits. So Andrew Fortune, his riding style, he'll be sitting quietly, as quiet as a church mouse. And I have no doubt that he'll present this mare at the right time. She has got a big winning chance. I'm not too worried about the 61 kilograms on the back. So a big case for number 7, Pushing Limits. And then number 1, Country Time. It just depends which Country Time arrives at the races. Bevan Plyke's gets a good tune out of this 6-year-old mare. He knows how to ride her. She's drawn towards the inside fence. She's a big girl, 530 on the scale. Let's see what the game plan is with number 1, Country Time. Of course, if she rocks up and she's in the right frame of mind, she'll be a big runner as well. So they're going to fight it out in my books. 1, Country Time, and number 7, Pushing Limits. And then we know nothing about number 4, Morphelia. She ran 3rd to Star World on the 8th of October, and then she backed it up to get out the maidens in a work riders race when beating Playing Tricks. Now, we know Playing Tricks has come out to frank that form. She won a very good race trained by Eric Sands. So I don't know where she fits into the pecking order. But if I came to this race, D's, and I was just looking for an interest bet, I am going to go and back number 7, Pushing Limits.
Okay, Brandon going with Pushing Limits ahead of number 1, Country Time. Brandon, before we get to race number 7, just something that, that's at the back of my mind. We enjoy the previews coming through from the Western Cape, but of late, especially of late, most of the previews that you guys are doing there is serious reference to this crosswind, which we cannot factor into our form. It's just something that happens on the day, and it does wreak havoc with results, because some horses, they just hate it, and other horses find themselves in a wrong position with regards to wind, maybe moving up too early, maybe in the open. I don't know how to factor it in, but it's something that is an enigma to all of us, because when the wind's there, the results can go pear-shaped.
Well, obviously I'm a newbie in Cape Town, as you well know, and I could never understand it. I'd always be based in Johannesburg, and obviously you listen to all the previews and they touch on the wind, and in your mind you're thinking, can't surely make that big a difference.
Sure.
But when you get to the course, and you battling yourself as a human being, I remember these horses are 500 plus.
Yes.
And you're walking onto the track, and the wind's pumping, and you're battling to lift your head. That's how strong it's blowing. It really does play a big part, Dee. So you're going to have to listen to the presenters and see what sort of wind is blowing. If it's a southeast and it's pumping, you don't want to be put into the daylight too soon. That I can promise you, because you'll come up for air that last furlong. So, yes, I agree with you, Dees. It's something, unfortunately, you can't factor in early, because you don't know what the wind's going to do on the day. But if you find yourself in the open and the wind's pumping, you're going to find yourself in trouble. So my only advice to the punters out there is just to try and listen to, obviously, the presenters that are on course, that are experiencing the wind. And then we try and chat to the jockeys as well. As you know, Dees, when they have that first winning jockey, we try and chat to them to see what the track conditions are doing and how that wind's coming into play.
Okay, or just wear a windbreaker. Okay, race number 7, 1,000 meters, middle stakes. Number 2, Black Cheetah, 3-1. 3 Winter Snap. Wow, I was impressed with this individual. Last time out, we were going to see how the horse goes. Coming back from the break, the horse drifted out to 7-2, but won well. 5-2 is the price of number 3 Winter Snap. Then we got number 4 Elusive Winter. That's at 3-1. Number 5 October Storm at 7-1. I see they've gone with blinkers there, Vaughan Marshall. Number 6, Demanding Dave at 7-1, and 7, Magical Place at 7-1. Yeah, this type of race, there's some quality in the field, horses that are in good form. But you had to be impressed with the well-being of Winter Snap, being stamped last time out, beating Black Cheetah.
Absolutely. These are called the race, and wow. He turned it on super impressively. In fact, I thought where he was positioned at the time, he'd be lucky to run a place. And when I looked up again at the furlong pole, he was within touching distance of going to fetch them. I'm just looking at the weights while I've got you on the phone, Dees. This was 490 kilograms on the scale last time out, of course, when he was coming back from a long break. He's now at 491. So he has, according to the scale, put on 1 kilogram, which is quite interesting. He's a lovely-looking individual. I've had a good look at him. I've been up close and personal to look at him in horse flesh, and he's got the looks to go with his abilities. So 3 Winter Snap, I'm sure he would have made the necessary improvement back at home. He's got a rating of 108. JP van der Merwe will get the lowdown, switch him off, and he'll tell you when he's ready to go. So big winning chance, number 3 Winter Snap. We do need to touch on Black Cheetah. I thought there was a tremendous comeback run when he ran second to Winter Snap. He was also coming back from a long break, so he would have made the necessary improvement, this 3-year-old colt, and he's always been held in high regard by Justin Snaith and his team, so he would need to go into the play. And then you got the speedball, D's, number 4 Elusive Winter. I think very smart move from Michelle and the team. They've opted to put the apprentice on, Safiso Bungani. He'll take off 4 kilograms. We know he's got one style of running. He'll jump out, play the fetch me if you can, going through the last 400 meters. If the apprentice gets his fractions right, he's always very hard to beat, number 4 Elusive Winter, especially over 5 furlongs up the straight at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. So you can make a big case for him. And then one other horse I do want to touch on, because he was given a lot of confidence by the yard last time. And we talked about trainers that are in form. Mike Stewart, small yards, but he's ticking over beautifully. Andrew Fortune always held this individual in high regard. Of course, he was very complimentary in his post-race interview last time when he got up to beat Churchillian, that he's got lots of ability, number 6 Demanding Dave. So you need to respect him as well, of a rating of 94. It's a good race, these. A lot of it's going to be tactical, and I can promise you there's going to be a lot of them finishing quickly.
Speed into play, and are they going to be coming from off the speed in race number 7 to possibly get the job done there? Race number 8, it is a class 2, 1,500 meters we go. Number 2, Legal Counsel, is at 5-2. Then we got number 3, Gallic Dream, at 7-2. I'd like Brandon's comments. I don't know whether you were on course on the 19th of November when number 5, His Majesty, ran at 5-2, and 6, Captain West, is at 5-1. We definitely did the preview together. I don't know whether you were on course to have a look at this individual, etc. And what did you make of his introduction to South African racing, the Northern Hemisphere bred number 5?
Yeah, spot on, D. Sorry to jump in early and cut you off over
No
there.
problem.
I was definitely on course, and I said I have to go and look at this horse because there's a lot of talk, and many people have been telling me that he's a beautiful horse. You need to go and look at him, and I've made it my mission to go to the parade ring and go and look at him. Wow. I've got one word to say, Dees. Wow. He is unbelievable in terms of looks, number 5, His Majesty. He floated down to the gates last time out. You heard from Richard Fourie and from Mr. Marshall that he was always going to need his comeback run. They dropped him out. They were hoping to see him run on, and that's exactly what he did. I'm just looking at his weights now, just for the viewers out there that do follow those weights, Dees. As it stands, of course, he weighed in for this meeting 567. So he's a big boy. 567 kilograms for this meeting. And I'm battling to pull up what his previous weight was, Dees. I'll try and find that and obviously give it to you maybe closer to the time on race day, which is not going to help viewers then. But I have no doubt that Mr. Marshall did say, and I remember as clear as daylight, he said there's a lot to work with. And I have no doubt that he would have tightened up. He would have been able to do a bit more work. Richard Fourie always been super keen on this individual. So we do need to watch him closely. He's the only thing that goes into my mind when it comes to this horse. Sometimes they can go flat. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I think so. You know, it's a second one back from a long break, Brandon, and he's still an end tire as well. But I like the fact that they're keeping him over 1,500 meters rather than stretching him, because then you got, you know, all about stamina into play, etc. Because when you look at his overseas profile, his international profile, he was kept to sprinting there.
Spot on. That's it, Dees. He was up the straight, as you know. He was kept over the sprinting trips. But when he came here, in the way he ran over 1,400, in your mind, you almost think that he won 2,000 meters. Just with that big unwinding action of his. I'm just having a look now, Dees. I've been able to find his weight. He was just over 475 on that occasion on his first run in South Africa. So he's down to 567, which is good news, which just shows you that they've been able to get some work into this individual. So an interesting horse. Let's watch him closely. But Dees, I'm going with number 2, Legal Counsel. I really like the way this horse fought them off. In fact, I think he's a horse that's gone under the radar. We always come to the course and we try and beat him, and every time he pops up. Of course, Andrew Fortune rode him in that race in KwaZulu-Natal on the 22nd of June. That was the KwaZulu-Natal Breeders' Mile. He won a great race, and then last time with Callan Murray, he was taken to the front and he fought them off beautifully. He's clearly got lots of ability. In that race was a horse called Red Palace, Zeitz, Sugar Mountain, Garrix. So he beat a really nice field, the Grade 3 Cape Mile on the 8th of November. So from a neat draw, Callan knows him well. He'll jump out over 1,500 meters, go to the front, I'm sure, and he'll be very hard to run down. So I'm happy to take the 5-2 about number 2, Legal Counsel.
Okay, that's race number 8, and let's move along to the lucky last. It's race number 9. We close things off. Maiden Plate, 1,600 meters. Bring up the field. Let's have a look at some betting, Brandon. Number 1, Charlie Bucket, 6-1. Then we got number 3, Chance Encounter. How frustrated are you? How much has this horse cost you? Are you going to be going for him again? 7-2. Then number 6, Quiet Place at 8-1. 9, Straight Red at 8-1. Then we got number 13, Perfect Impact at 7-2. It's double figures, the balance. Yeah, I like the look of the race, Brandon, because I think this could be a very good quartet to catch. And those quartets down in the Western Cape have been paying handsomely, especially if you try and get it with the minimum spend, as I always mention, narrowing down your selections, not going too wide for their 3rd and 4th position. If you had to play a quartet in this race, how would you structure it? Would you go roving banker? Would you put an anchor for first?
Anchoring for first, Dees.
Yeah.
I'm taking my chances. I don't know how many payday loans we've taken out for this individual, number 3, Chance Encounter. But I'm going to give him one more chance, Dees. He gets a draw. Blinkers, I see, have been put back on number 3. It's now or never. I know it's a competitive maiden. It's probably the most competitive in terms of maiden plates that he's met. But he got going when the race was all over last time out. I know he can be a frustrating individual because you've got to put him in the right position and you've got to try and obviously get him going at exactly the right time. And Serena Moody did everything right last time to try and get this horse's nose in front. Go back to his replay on the 19th of November. Of course, Signor Dante came out to beat some very nice 3-year-olds over the weekend. That was the race where Note to Self and Miami Summer were fancy, Dees.
Yes. That was a good form line to follow. That's a nice update, Brandon.
So I think Chance Encounter, now that the blinkers have gone back on, just help him travel, get him into the race a bit early. Obviously, from a good draw, you don't want him to be too far back, Dees, and I think he'll go very close to winning. Put it this way. This will be my last chance, Dees, and you know I don't come back for horses. Konichi was a good example. I don't come back for horses once they burnt the fingers. He's burnt 4 of my 5 on one hand, sure. And I'm giving him one more chance on Wednesday afternoon. So if he gets beat in the lucky last, he won't get another round from me.
Okay, Brandon is right-handed, so lucky it's his left hand. Race number 9, number 3, Chance Encounter, going to play the play 7-2. Well, he's given you a lot of thoughts, a lot of advice, and a lot of effort being put into the race-by-race preview. But let's see what's Brandon Bailey's suggested bet. Brandon, it's up on screen.
Thank you very much, Dees. Yeah, we're going to take our chances, see if we can catch the suggested play a few times. We know that it's not easy, especially in Cape Town at this time of the year, with all the wind blowing and everything else that goes into it. But a place accumulator. So get your publications out. We start in race number 3, 13:45. First leg. Even though I like number 5, Louis Star, we're going to have to go wide just in case that individual does go missing. So we'll go 2 Beautiful One. We'll include number 3, Kisses, who will probably go to the front with Andrew Fortune. The 5 was Louis Star, who I do like in a big way. 6, Cassandra, who's your favorite. And then number 8, Pacific Waters. So if we can't double up or treble up at least, then we're in a bit of trouble. So 2, 3, 5, 6, and 8 in leg number 1. The next leg of the place accumulator, we're going 6 and 8. 6, Homing Pigeon, and number 8, Peaches and Cream. We'll follow that up with 2 horses, 5 and 6. Eric Little, number 5, and number 6, Fast and Free. They should fight out that open maiden off at 3 o'clock. Then we're going 1 and 7 in the next leg, Country Time, as well as number 7, Pushing Limits. The next leg of the PA, 3, 4, and 6. 3, which is Winter Snap, will include number 4, Elusive Winter, and number 6, Demanding Dave. And then the last 2 legs, we're going to go with Bankers. So race 8, we're going to banker number 2, Legal Counsel, at 5 to 2, and we'll follow that up in the 9th race, the final race off at 17:20. We're going to banker number 3, Chance Encounter. It's now or never. The blinkers go on. Gareth Wright from a good draw. 1,600 meters, no problem. If he's in touching distance, I think that turn of foot will be very hard to stop him come the 9th race on Wednesday. My best bet, race 1, number 7, 5 to 10 is the price. Vroom, vroom, to get favourite backers off to a flyer. And my value bet, race 4, number 8, Peaches and Cream. She'll love the step up in trip.
Thanks for your time, Brandon, and looking forward to spending some time with you this Saturday on Guineas Day, Malbaya. Until then, you take care and get well soon.
We can't wait. Thanks for the good wishes, Dees. Always an absolute pleasure to have you in the Western Cape. And, of course, to your team behind the scenes, Lungi and her team. They do a wonderful job. And to the punters out there, let's hope that we can claw back. Don't give up hope just yet. I know that Saturday afternoon, the Phillies Guineas meeting was a tough one, but we now need to build up the revs. It's a festive time, and we've got the Guineas happening on Saturday, and shortly thereafter, it'll be Christmas. So let's hope that Wednesday's meeting treats us well. Thank you, Dees.
As we say goodbye to Brandon Bailey, for Brandon Bailey, myself, Dees Dynan, and the Gallop TV team. To you, the valued racing fan, hopefully things fall into place if you are playing at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Wednesday. Until we meet again, you take care. Salaniga Ashley.